The Pereira Protection Program. It's in full effect, guys. And you know it's in full effect when Marc Goddard is reffing an Alex Pereira fight. Now, I already recorded a video today, but this is the video that's going to post today, because I got to talk about this today. I'm annoyed, but I'm not surprised, but I'm annoyed. Every single Pereira fight has damn near been reffed by Marc Goddard. Every single, I'm talking about every single one, from the Adesanya fight to the Yuri Prochazka fight to the Jan Blachowicz fight to the Khalil Roundtree fight. There's just a bunch of fights where Alex Pereira is reffed by Marc Goddard. Now, what's Marc Goddard known for doing? I don't know if you've been living under a tree, but his stoppages specifically are so questionable that it makes you itch your, usually itch your head like that, but it got you doing this shit. Some of his stoppages, I'm not gonna say they're horrible stoppages, but I feel like the worst thing to do in a championship fight is leave questions to be asked after a finish. I feel like Marc Goddard is really good at letting people question, okay, yeah, that guy probably could have kept fighting, but this could have happened. Oh no, this could have happened. So what happens is when Marc Goddard refs a fight and then the fight ends with one of his stupid stoppages, Twitter's always split. There's people saying early stoppage. There's people saying, why can't you just let it go longer? People saying, let them go out on their shield. People saying, oh, protect the fighter. There's always that when Marc Goddard is involved in a championship fight. Now, as you can see by my tweet and by the tweet I quote tweeted, that Marc Goddard is officially the referee for yet another Alex Pereira fight, because Dana White got to put extra protection on Pereira, man. They got to make sure, like I said in this tweet, if Ankalaev gets rocked for a second, the fight's over. I know that. I know that. I hope you guys know that. It makes it more interesting though, because like I said, Ankalaev, I know what's gonna happen in this fight. I know he's supposed to put the beats on him like Dr. Dre, hands on him, lots of bass. But the problem with it now is if Ankalaev gets caught by anything, the fight's over. It's not even about, oh dude, I don't know. If Ankalaev gets rocked a little bit, and then he's trying to defend or something, or trying to go for a takedown. No, stop. The fight's over, man. And that's the kind of vibe I'm getting from this fight, which is kind of pissing me off. So people already memeing, bro. This is one of my favorites, bro. This one says right here, Marc Goddard when Pereira lands a calf kick in the first 30 seconds. Yeah, nah, man. The fight's over, dude. The fight's over, man. Bro, it's what are we doing, guys? What are we doing? We really got Marc Goddard reffing another Pereira fight. And what's weird about Marc Goddard, I feel like he intentionally wants to ruin people at the biggest stage. I really feel like that. I feel like in championship fights, he's so different from prelim fights. And I'm gonna show you guys what I mean. If you see some of these fights in the prelims, he be letting them go on for a while, and they're be getting beat. They be getting their ass kicked, drop left and right. Look at this guy all over the bro. This guy's getting battered up all over the place, bro. Just battered up by Gene Silver right now, and this guy just letting the fight go. He's it's already physical surrender at some of these points. You know what I'm saying? Goddard's not for a second. He's nah, let me let these prelims keep going, man. Oh, yeah, let me let these prelims keep going. Hey, okay, first of all, if that was a championship fight, the second he did this, the fight would have been over. But it's a prelim fight, so yeah, let's go to war of prelim fights, man. It's what? Bro. I'm glad it looks like he has common... Look at Gene Silva. It looks like he has common sense here, man. Oh, my goodness. Finally, he literally had to physically surrender. Now, when championship fights come, you guys know what happened in the Aljo fight. Is this stoppage bad? I have my mixed opinions. I'm sure you guys have your mixed opinions on this. I honestly feel like this stoppage was just, it wasn't good. And that might be a hot take, but yes, Aljo gets caught with a punch, chat. But you guys got to realize, after he gets caught with his punch, he's actively scrambling the whole time, scrambling. And it's weird. What's weird about this one is the second it looks like Aljo's turning over to wrestle a single leg is when the fight stopped. Right here, he turns over to try to wrestle a single leg, and then the fight's over. It's weird. And then, of course, the Izzy situation now. This goes to the not only Goddard having bad stoppages in championship fights. These fights show, I feel what I think is a bias towards Alex Pereira. First of all, it's a little rare and a little unique, in my opinion, that he's constantly in these Alex Pereira fights. And, a lot of Alex Pereira's finishes at light heavyweight that were knockouts that he was actually a part of, they were all questionable stoppages. The Yuri one, it was questionable. Israel Adesanya, questionable. I don't know if it's an Alex Pereira thing, because I seen Israel Adesanya beat the shit out of Kevin Gastelum and dropped him 4 times in the 5th round. Kevin Gastelum was barely moving and stuff, and he never stopped the fight for a second. Now this one is when Alex Pereira catches him with a beautiful left hook. He jumps into the left hook, boom, he catches him, and the whole time it's just pretty much Izzy moving around, moving his head and stuff, bobbling and weaving, bobbling and weaving. You see head down, he's moving his head, and then the fight stopped. And then of course Izzy immediately protests like, what? Like, what the hell? And I'm not like, I know the comments are gonna be like, oh, these are perfect stoppages, man. These are perfect, dude. But you guys could try to gaslight yourselves like you're interested in fights like this. Like, if this is one of your favorite fighters getting knocked out, you'll be upset with the stoppages. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't be like, oh yeah, I'm so happy that stoppage happened. What a good stoppage. You know? And it happened with Yuri too. And it's weird because I think the stoppage was worse than Yuri's. Like, Yuri's stoppage was like, it was weird because Yuri went limp for a little bit and he falls, right? But then he immediately starts wrestling again. And then he kind of goes limp again here. And then he falls backwards. But he's still in it and he's still wrestling. Like, you can see he's still in. He's still trying to wrestle, scramble. But the fight's already stopped. And like, what I feel like a referee has to know personnel. I don't know who else watched a Yuri fight. But if you ever watched a Yuri fight, Dominic Rakic, whatever fight you watch, Yuri gets hurt a lot. Glover, like, he always gets rocked. He gets bumbled back and forth. It looks like it's over for him, but he stays in the fight and keeps fighting. I feel like you have to, I don't know why I feel like refs should know personnel. Maybe that's weird for me to assume that refs like watch fights, but I feel like you should know the person. Like, I think this is kind of a questionable stoppage as well. I'm not going to say bad stoppage, because bad stoppage is, you can't really use that term for any of these fights, because you could always make the argument, yeah, but if this lasted for 5 more seconds, okay, so let it last 5 more seconds. That's my whole argument there. I know some people are a fan of like fights being stopped early because like, oh, just protect the fighter, man. Who cares? Let's stop it as quick as possible in a championship fight. Listen, why are you in the prelim fights? Why is he over here saying, okay, let them get the shit kicked out of him? But in a championship fight with the most eyes in the world are on you, man, and it's the biggest fight on the world and the biggest fight on the stage, I'm going to stop it prematurely just in case. Just in case, man. Especially with like Izzy, who's like a long reigning champion for a long time, and you stop it that prematurely. Yuri, like, he's an up and coming contender, you stop it early. Aljamain Sterling fight, it's like, bro, mostly these fights, man, it just doesn't make sense how early he stops it, in my opinion. And I'm not surprised that Dana or whoever, I don't know who's involved in like picking the refs, but I'm not surprised with the reffing choice of this fight. Now, let's be real. Alex Pereira is a cash cow for the UFC. He's a moneymaker. He puts asses in seats. You know, Ankalaev, like, if you watch UFC, you get him and you know him. You know, Ankalaev's stock and followers and all that's gonna go up after he beats Alex Pereira. But I feel like what Marc Goddard is right now, he's a safety cushion for Alex Pereira. I really feel like the UFC understands Marc Goddard's track record. Like, when people see Marc Goddard like get booked to like ref a fight, they immediately like, their first thoughts are like early stoppage, bro. Like I'm saying, oh, like we did to Cedric Doumbé, whatever, and the fucking French guy in the PFL. He stopped the fight because freaking Cedric was like on my leg, like pointing at his toe, but he was still fighting. This guy has some anger issues. People have talked about it in the past too, like Goddard's anger issues and stuff. And I just don't think he's the best reffing option for this. We got to bring back like the if he dies mentality of the referees back in the day, man. Because I feel like that's more appropriate for a title setting. You know what I'm saying? These guys know what they signed up for. It's a barbaric sport. Like, I understand like being worried for a fighter's health. But if your reffing style is turning into a constant thing of like, oh, early stoppages, or I think favoritism for this guy. I really think he favoritizes, or like he likes Alex Pereira more than a lot of people, because a significant amount of his early stoppages stem from Alex Pereira specifically in title fights. And I'm a little bit confused. Like, I just don't know why it happens like that. You know, and I know the UFC knows it, which is why they're trying to give him extra protection against Magomed Ankalev. Well, we're going to have to see how that works, because I just don't think it's going to work the way they think, because first he needs to get caught. Of course, if he gets caught, is that like nerve-wracking more so than any other ref? Of course, like if I were to tell you guys, like if someone like fucking Jason Herzog has his moments, but sometimes he lets fights keep going. You know what I'm saying? Or fucking any of these refs, they let the fight like progress for a longer period of time than Marc Goddard does. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Marc Goddard, he's too antsy for a championship fight. You shouldn't have an antsy ref like reffing the biggest fight of the card, because then you're going to lead to big question marks. I know the Poetards are happy. I've seen the reception that the Poetards are getting or giving this announcement compared to like every other UFC fan. Poetards like, yes, we got Marc Goddard. And then the other UFC fans like, fuck, man. Like, oh, man, early stoppage incoming. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if the same energy is going to be given to Pereira. Pereira gets rocked. Is it going to be a premature stoppage? I doubt it. I'll put any amount of money on it. Ain't going to be no premature stoppage if Ankalaev gets a stoppage. It's going to be like Ankalaev probably going out on his fucking, like, bro, it's going to take like what Israel Adesanya did to Alex Pereira for it to be like, oh yeah, Marc Goddard, let me wave it off. Because if it's not, brother, dale, brother. You know, it's going to be too hard for Ankalaev to actually go in there and earn a finish. So, honestly, bro, I'm going to say this. I'm going to just say this. Alex Pereira is the most blessed and favoritized fighter on the roster. And little things like this that they're trying to like nudge at us and they think we're not going to notice, I'm going to notice it and I'm going to make a whole video on it because I want you guys to see this blasphemy. This is some bullshit, bro. See what they're trying to do to us? Yo, angsters, man, look at this shit, bro. They're trying to get us. So they're trying to catch us slipping. But first you got to catch Ankalaev. And listen, like I have said, it could be a scenario where Alex Pereira lands a punch, you know, and it could hurt Ankalaev. Ankalaev was dropped by Santos, of course, you know. Imagine Marc Goddard was reffing that fight. Oh, waving off immediately. Like, you know, we might get a Jubilee moment when Jubilee got fucking wrecked and dropped and then he just didn't get a fighting chance. That's really what I'm worried about the most in this fight. Like, I really care less about anything else. That's my only worry now. Like, I was always like very confident in this fight and how the fight goes. And I still am. Don't get me wrong, I still am. But I just feel as if it adds that element of kind of fear and nerves because now you know, just because Ankalaev is better and the better boxer and is probably going to beat the fuck out of him, all it takes for Pereira not to like land one knockout blow, but land a blow that's significant enough to hurt or wobble Ankalaev. And then immediately when that happens, then it's over. Like we can't. And I know like immediately, no matter if you go on Twitter and complain, it doesn't matter because it's gonna be the Poetard saying, nah, perfect stoppage, man. He was saving Ankalaev for almost getting hurt. Or oh, if that lasted 5 more seconds, he would have went out anyways. That's the whole thing I always see with this Izzy thing. Like, oh my god, but if they went 5 more seconds, Kenny, Izzy would have got kneed up the middle, all this stuff. I'm like, okay, let it happen. I don't care. Like, let it happen. If that's gonna happen, let it happen. It wasn't. That was a questionable stoppage. His stoppage against a mob off Izzy. Like, it wasn't a bad stoppage. I actually thought it was a good stoppage, but it still leads to questions after the fight. Because after the fight, people were questioning, like, Goddard after, like, oh, why was that stopped? You know what I'm saying? I thought that stoppage was fine, but I just feel like if all your stoppages are coming down to questions at the end of the fight, then was it really a good stoppage? But everyone's gonna have mixed opinions about every stoppage that Marc Goddard has. But what you can't have mixed opinions about is that majority of his early stoppages include Alex Pereira for whatever reason. I think he likes him. I think he favoritizes him. He has no connection to Ankalaev at all. He's always reffing. I swear, guys, do your research. Look how much fights of Alex Pereira he actually refs. You will be alarmed. Like, you will be very surprised how much time you actually see him in front of Alex Pereira. This guy and Alex Pereira have a contract signed in the back that we don't know about, but I know about it, so I'm exposing it on this platform, baby. Yeah, man, I'm exposing this shit. I know you're doing it, brother. You can't hide from me too much. Dale, brother. I'm coming, brother. We see you, you know, and I'm going to make it public so everyone knows the truth about you, Marc Goddard, you know. Listen, I have nothing against you, brother, but I know what you're doing, and I know you have a contract signed with Poetan, bro. I don't know if those spirits, those shamans he uses are all in your head now. Brother, let go. Rip the contract up. Burn it, bro. Just be a real referee. Be fair referee. And if you try to ruin this fight, I hope you lose your job. But let me know what you guys think down below. I know the Poetards are screaming down below. Yeah, man, we win, dude. Rock on cowbunga. Do you nod your head and rock? You guys are fucking having a field day. But, you know, I just don't even want to think about early stoppages because it's going to piss me off. But let me know what you think down below. That's it for me. And God bless. 2, 3, 4.